don't have to worry about too many niche details. And for the Mongols, of course, they are kind of heavily relying on simple, you know, I wouldn't say wombo combo, but in a way, it does kind of sound like it. The lasso needs to lead into a direct kill right after. And who do you also grab? So, trying to find openings and avenues might be a difficult question here for the Mongols to answer this game. But we'll see if they're up for the task. Execration, though, their history as a team, they've always kind of been like that... they can beat a Tier 1 team, but they can also lose to a Tier 4 team. So they haven't always been super consistent, am I right?
Yes, that's for sure. I feel like that's like the perfect description for Execration right now. And I'm sure that they're probably scraping their head around why is that the case? I feel like. So yeah. Anyway, I feel like Execration is the one team that I will always look at though, because you will never know when they are gonna make it. You will also never know when they are gonna crumble and just say that okay, we're just done. So either way, I'm very good friends with the boys at Execration, and I'm just glad to see that they stick with each other, because we don't get that a lot nowadays. We don't get teams that just stick to each other and commit to each other. But we see that story being very successful recently, right? With Team Liquid's success to winning TI. The players have been sticking around for so long. So kind of hope that in the back of my mind, something similar or miracle could happen to Execration as well.
All right, well, at least a pretty calm start for now, but just waiting for somebody to cross over the river. There is the deep ward placed down by the Mongols straight there next to that T1 tower, showing Execration's position. So Mongols just looking to take at least 2 runes down from the bottom side of the map and not really look for a proper invasion. And that does look like that's going to be the case. JG just giving a quick reminder that he's here. And off we go. We're going to be watching some Puck versus Pango action. Of course, this is pretty Pango favored. But do you think this Puck can get away with this lane somehow?
Yeah, I do agree. It's pretty Pango favorite. I feel like it's going to be down to our supports coming into the river to help with securing runes. I think taking away 1 water rune is probably quite important for this matchup, because as a Puck, you really need to secure every rune that you can get. You are a very squishy hero against the Pangolier, so I feel like Lewis here is going to be trying to put in maximum pressure on Puck, and in that sense trying to get some support rotations coming out from Mongol's side.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
CML also already getting JG's courier to start things off with, so even with the bounties 2 for 2. It's a nice little money injection, especially when you have these mid laners hungry to get those quick bottles. Any courier kill early on. Castaway also returns the favor, picking up 1 as well for the team. Is it really worth to just, you know, ignore the getting to level 2 ASAP if you have the possibility of hunting couriers down? Have you ever thought about that?
No, actually, that is quite a creative idea. I've never thought of that. I'll probably think that, you know, if there's a bounty hunter, like you say, from Kishka here, he's probably be very active in hunting the couriers. But in this case, not really.
Because there was a game that I actually wanted to analyze a little bit more. That was like maybe back in the past, where which game had the most courier kills, and I think we were going closer to almost 30 courier kills by a player or by a team. And the money accumulated to a total of almost 10,000 gold. So a 10k net worth difference from just courier kills is kind of insane. So that money starts to add up really easily when you start to think about it. That you kill 1, okay, 25 gold times 5, that's 125 at the first minute. And then maybe kill a couple at 10 minutes, 15 minutes on a side rotation. Whoa, that was a bit of a whirl around tour there.
I do feel that this strategy is going to be viable when somehow Ice Rod thinks that, okay, I'll start giving you XP when you kill courier.
Oh.
I think that playstyle is going to be super wild, and Dota is going to look so different. All of a sudden you see Bounty Hunter, Ricky, you know, Nature's Perfect coming back into play, and just running around killing couriers.
Yeah, I think we're going to start games, you know, with 4 versus 5, Monkey Kings in front of the fountain, waiting for the couriers to leave, and just stays there, you know?
Okay, that doesn't sound like a good idea anymore then. Probably.
It's going to break our pubs.
Yes, let's don't do this. I think what I say back.
But yeah, already looking at the first 2 minutes, we've been mostly looking at this mid lane matchup here. Wonderboy taking a serious beating here from Lewis, as it was kind of expected to go. But he'll find his ways back into this game later on. But how do our side lanes fare? Because there's a bit of action going on in top. The gyrocopter on a bit of a hunt there on the mini-map, at least. But, oh, there we go. I'll take a look at what's going on here. Just some lane pulling shenanigan attempts, at least. Lich is still level 1. And maybe explain some difficulties potentially for Execration in this lane. Because you can't really bully the Primal Beast as much as you want to. But it also comes down to positioning and these, you know, creep waves not being around, that JG just gets his free XP to start things off with, and you don't really get to use your spells to harass the hero.
Yeah, I like what Mongolz are doing right here, because they know that they are running a double melee lane into Lich plus Gyro, who, you know, which is a very scary killing lane. So making shenanigans like this, lane pullings, trip pullings are really good. You keep the Lich on the low level. If Lich doesn't find, oh, okay, I saved them, but he find the kill instantly.
Alright, that's going to be our first blood, CML. Did take a moment, but they were able to find that Kishka Tiny out of position momentarily, and that's all they needed. Just a moment to find the first kill.
Yeah, I would say that it seems that most of the lanes are going well for Execration if you look at the CS list. And it's really crazy to see that Lycan has more denies than his last hit right now, which is kind of cool, I feel like, because you are shutting down a lot of gold coming up from Alchemist by doing this. Okay, it seems like the game is pretty stable right now. I would like to say Execration, they have a little bit of a good start, better start than Mongolz. Especially if you look at the CS chart, it tells a pretty obvious story right now.
Still looking at how much can Tino create with this Lycan. I think he really needs to get to like his first item. Is it going to be the Echo Saber? Is it going to be something else on his mind? And the same at the top lane. Then Sanity at least got the rocket off on the Tiny, and JG was also being held busy by CML. So that Sinister Gaze kind of does wear down at least 1 or 2 seconds off of the trample.
Oh, bottom side.
And there we go. All right. Shanks is able to find one. Can he find a second one as well? Castaway, low on HP, but nicely jukes around the trees. But there is the trick shot. And also the bushwhack, and Shanks has got himself a double.
I mean, that's the power of the Lycan and Hoodwink here. I feel like this is only going to get stronger and stronger as top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty nasty brawl, because they hoped that that barrage might be enough, but the moment he went onto the Primal Beast, the creep wave shows up, and suddenly you've got 5 people sharing that rocket barrage damage, and that's just an opening for the Primal Beast to find a return. So Mongolz also getting their first on the board, but that was a much needed kill for the Primal. Only 12 CS so far.
Yeah, that's for sure. I feel like that is a kill that they probably are not expecting to find when they are going to this lane. So a big pleasant surprise, I would say. What I want to see is here, like, when would Kishka make the decision to go to mid and help Puck with this matchup? Because I do feel like the power rune is going to be coming up, and that's going to be pretty important for both sides as well. Because if the Pango gets a very good power rune with the advantage that he has on the lane right now, he will be able to make some serious damage on the side lanes if he wants to. Which is why Shanks is already here. Castaway is also mirroring Strength's movement.
Yeah, let's also see the Lich in the top half. And this is going to go for Lewis, getting a free haste rune for himself. Puck not getting his hands on any action runes might hurt the Puck's gameplay a bit. But maybe not the first one's going to be that huge of a loss. Still doesn't look like level 6s are online yet. Just the Pango who has an ulti. I cast away quite deep under the tower, but just trying to apply a bit of pressure onto Tino.
Yeah, I really like what Chidori and Castaway are doing. They know that Shanks is away controlling the rune, so Chidori is playing extra aggressive.
Oh, there's the rotation from the Pango, and it'll catch JG off guard. No vision to show him. Yeah, I think he can actually stay here because he's got that Rolling Thunder still up. Puck is going to be showing up though. Puck does have coil. Early
missed
roll, but it's not the Thunderbolt. He's got it now. Lewis will pick it up, and Shanks has got the other one. So that is the Mongolz left completely without a Wisdom Rune, and Lich will be caught by the coil. Nice little interaction there with the Flame Break, pushing him to break the coil stun. But he manages to go under the tower, so it's a split kill, and not even Puck gets a much-needed kill.
That was such a crucial and clutch Sinister's gaze coming out from CML right there. Without that, I think Lewis would not be able to get the Wisdom Rune, which is detrimental to the progress of Mongolz here. I think they spent 2 TPs with the Puck and the Batrider, and Batrider is now only sitting at level 3. Puck is a hero that, Batrider is a hero that is really reliant on level, so it's going to be a real challenge for Mongolz to look at where they can find first level at this moment of the game, especially with Puck having such a slow game compared to Pango on Lewis.
Talking about Pango, they already catch the Puck, but the stun duration is not long enough. Wonder Boy still able to escape with the Illusory Orb, and well, as I say that, he dies off screen, so Gravel Laughter is on point. Kishka also spotted here. CML still has that Sinister Gaze. The Tiny going to be slowly worn down. And holy, does that Pango just do a lot of damage with a maxed out Swashbuckle and a Blightstone.
Yeah, playing to a 0 armor Tiny, I think this is Pango's dream. It's looking pretty rough here for Mongolz. I feel like they really want to find a way to kind of slow down the game a little bit, because if they try to make a lot of things happen, I think Pango is going to enjoy every skirmishes of that right now, especially going to the Echo Saber. He's going to be running in with a lot of stats, a lot of right click damage, super tanky as well. And we mentioned about how Mongolz, they have a lot of initiation.
Oh, it's going to be a tight one. They can't quite get Tino, and is Chidori and Kishka going to pay the ultimate price for it? Yes, they are. Then Sanity shows up, and the Gyro picks up the double. They were so hungry for that Lycan kill, but losing these two, oh boy, that is so not worth it.
Yeah, it feels like a Hail Mary kinda, because they feel like, oh, we are not getting anything done in the mid lane. Neither are we on the top lane, so we kind of have to just put maximum pressure on wherever we can find, and that is the Alchemist lane. And unfortunately, they just didn't have enough number. It was just 2 of them into the Lycan in front of the enemy towers.
Gotta be really careful as well on this Alchemist not to die a second time, as he's just TP'd straight in. That is a 70-second cooldown on his TP. But there is nobody around. They were able to scout the Lich's movements and also the Pango's movements, who is, I think, currently hunting, or at least challenging Wonder Boy stacks. He might be able to even kill him here. Oh, his spell's on cooldown. So let him go. Howl is also used as a Flame Break to push CML around. They'll be able to punish the Lich. His little incursion comes to an end.
Oh, and Lewis finds the DD rune for himself. That's a good reward for a mid laner that is very willing to play aggressive in the enemy jungle. So he gets rewarded by DD rune, and this is another very scared minute and a half for Mongolz side. They kind of want to make something happen, but then there's always this DD rune from Pango that is scary. That is super scary.
I wanted to ask your opinion, by the way. Talked about the Lycan itemization. He went for Mask of Madness first item.
Alright.
Radiant are scanning.
Boy
I
just
have
wants
not
to hit
seen
fast.
that too much.
I guess it's a substitute for Echo Saber, and you might have enough lockdown in your team so that you don't really need like a Harpoon or something. Well, then Sanity, well, you can just see the power of that AD rune right there. I think they might have enough damage to even kill this this Alchemist. I mean, this guy does a ton of damage with his hits, so even with your ulti up, Chidori, it's not going to do any good for you.
Yeah, that's the power of the Goon Squad coming out from Execration here. You have Pango plus 2 supporters who gives you a lot of initiation and also stuns and also damage. And I like to see them connecting each other to just kind of run around to make pressure, putting a lot of pressure on
Shanks
Alchemist.
is in trouble. Got 3 people going straight towards the Hoodwink. Castaway. Quick push around. The toss will squish that little squirrel. And maybe they can open up for a potential tower here. We've got the Arsonist Batrider, so that will at least help you with that extra pushing power early on in the game. But Lewis is already TPing in, looking for a potential angle in. Big swashbuckle there, hitting both Castaway and Kishka. And no Rolling Thunder.
Lewis, he really wants to find another room for himself here. And Mongolz. Kind of
Yeah,
running
I like how the
topside.
gyrocopter shows up here as well to ensure that they'll be able to find another one, but it is Wonder Boy getting the regen for himself.
Not the rune they are looking for, to be honest. I feel like you want to look for some kind of arcane here
Arcane,
from
yeah.
Mongolz, yeah, so that they can actually try to do something back to turn the game around. Because right now, when you are running a draft with Alchemist and you are 5k behind this early on, that's a feeling that is not very good for a team.
And this kind of hurts the supports on the side of Mongolz, right? Because they're not really getting any moves done on the map. We don't have a lasso, and we're not getting a blink on this Tiny for probably another 5, 6, maybe even 7 minutes at the worst. So who's making the plays here? And that comes back to your point about the desperation play with the Alchemist before, and he's losing control of his map. CML and Lewis, they've ganked him here before in the same place, this time without the AD rune, but it's not even needed.
The Centaur coming in clutch as a 6-man for Execration there, allowing the Chain Frost to bounce around to kill Alchemist. Yeah, and we talk about making plays, right? I feel like this is where Mongolz, if you look at the draft, they are very aggressive. They want to on enemy's face and, you know, keep killing enemy. But when you're this far behind, you don't have the luxury to do that. You don't have enough items. You are not having enough net worth. But I do feel like this is where they probably want to think about how to defend their own jungle, so the Alchemists have a place to catch up, to get to this Radiance. But what we have seen so far in the past 3 minutes, he does not get the space at all. He has been dying 2 times in the same space without any help as well.
Yeah, he's got no freedom, no room, no stacks. And even if he did have some stacks, those will probably just be taken away by Execration, who have been able to hold on to all of their T1 towers, even this mid T1 that has been dropped so damn low. And Puck seems like he's bashing his head against a wall at this point. Execration just waiting for their timings to hit. Haven't really seen a lot of shapeshifts yet because, well, he hasn't even leveled it up. This Lycan's on full farm mode.
Yeah, for the past few minutes, I feel like I've seen Tino in the entrance just farming Ares tag by Ares minute. I think that's why he wants to bring up the Muscle Madness, right? He just wants the skill. He understands that angle is enough. Like what they're doing right here, just another time bullying Kishka. Kishka just trying to find anything that he can, and died to the warding award. Very sad.
It's a pretty sad fate. Just farm aggressively on the Radiant side of the map now, and maybe even take away that T1 tower as well. Considering the minus armor that they have, this is a pretty decent Roche lineup too. And with the lead that they have, this next night could be the time to clean up Roche, get that entire triangle of objectives, being the T1, the T2, the Wisdom, and maybe even worst case the Tormentor, away from the Mongolz.
Exactly. I feel like nowadays this Q1 offlane tower actually gives you a lot, because like you said, right, it gives you access to the enemy triangle, which they're doing right now, invading straight away, trying to take this area away from the Alchemist, trying to take this away from Primal Beast as well. Oh, thankfully there's nothing on the career. If the relic was
that was
on
the
career,
one he was planning on sending. Yeah, I think it was sending it to the secret shop, but he left it in the tree line next to the T2 tower, and Lich just spotted a free courier kill. It's like, all right, well, that's a couple minutes. You won't be getting your relic at least.
Yeah, unless you want to take a risk to go into enemy secret shop, but that's probably one risk that he's not affording right now.
Probably why they just used a Radiant scan there as well. It's like, man, I've got the money, but can I go there because the circle's red?
Like, I would spend my gold, please.
Tower is under attack.
Oh yeah, Alchemist went for another facet as well, which is not the seed money. I've rarely seen any Alchemist go for the other facet, so it kind of tells me that he wants to really make use of the cooldown reduction and get in action a lot. Which he kind of is, but he's the one getting beaten down right now.
Interesting, true. I don't really ever see an Alchemist pick up this facet. To be honest, I don't even know what it does, because nobody does pick it.
Only support Alchemist, right? But we also don't see much of that as well. I think it is a cooldown reduction on your stable concussion whenever you have ulti on. So it's normally the facet where I would imagine you want to be always fighting, always making sure that you are throwing out stuns, meaning that you want to be in the action a lot more. But unfortunately, not the case. Not something that he is able to do right now.
Alright, well, Lewis is spotted on the river, but who spots who? JG charges in. Wants to cause a bit of havoc onto this Pango, which could be a good kill, but his BKB charge is worn down. Lewis, well, for a moment it looked like he might have needed some help with his driver's license, but they are going to be able to get the hunt down on the Primal Beast, and Tino will be given this kill. So a bit of an engagement attempt by Mongolz, but not really a proper fight they were looking for.
Yeah, that is probably their strongest fight at the moment right now, with the fresh picked up BKB coming out from JG. I think he's the only one having a
not the
pretty
Alp.
decent game.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Wolves are causing a bit of issues for this man.
Oh
Enough for Lewis to just kill him.
Ah, that's rough to see. He has 5k gold in the bank as well, so that is a lot of gold lost here in this death.
Just pushing this Alchemist further and further back.
Is under attack.
I'm starting to wonder where do the timings even lie for Mongolz in this game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Because this is kind of brutal. This is kind of brutal at this point.
Like any game like that it feels extra or extra hard because simply because there's a Lycan on the enemy team. Like you may not see Lycan the hero itself, but you always felt his presence through his wolf. And it's just at one point it's even hard to just take a step into your own map, which is what JG is trying to do right here. Can't even cross the river.
Maybe they can kill CML. Kishka setting up with the toss, but Lich ulti, well, you can blink, it's not going to disjoint, and then Sanity is going to be following him down as they finish off JG, and they also found themselves a Batrider. Castaway is down, and they will hunt the Tiny under the T2 tower. Execration making this one look really simple.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I really like how Execration has been grouping their numbers together. You see that they have a really huge map right now, but they're not super split from each other. They understand that what's more important at this stage of the game is taking away the map from their enemy, and you gotta kind of do that by staying in a close proximity, which is what they are doing. And also their two supports are long range heroes, so you can always just beat a little bit around and then come in here with the Atos, pushback to secure the kill, and that is exactly what Strength has been doing, what CML has been doing so far.
Yeah, also the fun part of playing a Hoodwink when you're able to pick up a Grove Bow.
Oh yeah.
Chidori, he's surrounded by enemies here. He wants this wave. He's not popping his ulti for this one. Is it too late though? I feel like it is, as Insanity, Lewis, they both close in the gap, and they're on to the next one. Castaway gonna get hit by the Rod of Atos. No way he can use a lasso here, and just brought into Shanks, and sharpshoots him down.
Yeah, that's gonna lead to Execration taking the Tormentor away as well. So another economic destruction here against Mongolz. GG though, found Tino.
The first time we see Tino in action, he just two
Or did
shots
Tino
the
find
Tiny.
them?
Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we were worrying for Mongolz, right? You have a lot of disables, but is there any damage? There's simply no follow-up damage right now, especially knowing how much they're behind. Because they are just heroes that naturally need a lot of items to dish up damage. It's the same for Puck, it's the same for Alchemist, so they need time. This lineup needs time, and Execration is not giving any of that to them.
And also these wolves are causing a bit of a headache over the map, because he did change over to the alpha wolves instead of the buffing wolves. These have been going all around.
Very nasty stuff coming out from Execration. Like we always know Execration as this team that will from time to time bring out something new. They were rocking with some Marcy off lane previously. Now it's Lycan. So I do feel like Mongolz going to the next game, they really need to start thinking about this Lycan in rough, because I don't think you want to be going into the same situation twice in a row. But for now, let's think about how to solve the issue that they have in front of their eyes. Going in with a 4-man smoke.
Well, this would be the fight, right? If they can just find the right targets. As Lewis has been getting a pretty good ulti off so far. CML down, Chidori is dead. They will lose their Alchemist. Big charge in from JG, takes Shanks down. And that leaves Lewis in a bit of a roll-up situation, but he's going to finish off the next one. Then Sanity can now focus on JG, pushing that Primal Beast away. And Execration will, at least, it's a 2-for-2 trade for the Mongols. Meaning that they will get at least a third of their kills in the last 22 minutes from this engagement. It's just the supports, however. So only a streak taken, which is alright for them, sure, but Alchemist is still not getting to play this video game.
Yeah, but it's alright, I feel like, because you kind of want to just get anything that you can right now, no matter the cost. So I think it's glad for it's good news for Mongolz that only Alchemist died. So your POC, your Primal Beast, is still able to find some space to push out some lanes, and I think the only thing they're aiming for is to prolong this game right now, and maybe hope for Execration to make some crucial mistake, turn the game around. But I think for Mongolz, what you are looking for are opportunities, and they managed to grab them. So you can't beg for much in this position. You just have to make use of what you can get right now. Execration, I feel like they are not planning to give any more time to Mongolz. They got these Aegis, and they're probably looking to just go high ground and completely blow the game open from here.
Yeah, there's still only that one lane that Mongols are looking to play, which is their tier 2 still standing in the top lane, try to at least try to get some building damage going, try to cut some waves as JG, but he's in a very risky position because Shanks has already found him. Lewis is coming in as well, and just the two of these two heroes wouldn't look so scary, but because they're so far ahead, they're actually just happy forcing the Primal Beast away, dropping him to so low HP that he's not able to cut another wave.
That was a really good poke, and JG was so disciplined and patient with the BKB usage as well. I almost thought that he's gonna use it, but he knows if he uses the BKB, they are not gonna be able to defend this upcoming high ground stage.
Yeah, think about the fight ahead. That's probably gonna be more important than the previous scrim. But that being said, I mean, you do have a couple of good heroes in Mongols who can cut waves. You still have Tiny who can make Blink, and you have the Puck who's also pretty good at the job. Batrider can burn these waves out. And that's a missed coil by the looks of it. If they're not really able to find themselves a proper target, Tino did use his shapeshift. So at least something is forced out on the side of Execration, but Mongols also the same thing. 3 ultis down, and Chidori found again. 0-8 Alchemist. I would hate to be this guy.
This is probably one of the toughest game I've seen from Chidori so far. He's normally the carry that is pretty stable, doesn't die a lot, but I think you have to give credit to Execration here. They've been fighting like multiple kills with just very small unit. They're always just killing with Pango +1 or Lycan +1, so they're just making this entire map feels like a playground right now. Anywhere that they go with a small unit of group, they'll be able to find a kill. But like you said, Mongols, they have a lot of tools to shove waves, and you can see the Puck is ready to cut the next one. Passaway has the bottom. GG though, he has to pop the BKB for this one this time.
Looking for the quick teleport out as well. His BKB has been burnt though. That means that Execration maybe now has a tool to go to the high ground. With the help of Tino or not. Insanity's also bringing in the top wave. Finally look for themselves a potential lane of racks. Bring in the Gyrocopter to stand in front with that Aegis. Start to look for the ending of this game. Unless Mongols are able to muster something to delay that from happening, it will not be an easy job. You have to find a pick first, but the only thing you can really find on the map is probably Shanks, but Squirrel is really hard to find. That's already your mid lane down. Well, there's the Shanks kill. Is it enough for more? Wonderboy going for the chase on CML. The lasso brings in Insanity back to the high ground with the Aegis. And now they're not entirely sure in Execration which fight do they want to take. But they do want to start corralling towards the Gyrocopter. Chidori goes down to Lewis, who evaporates this Alchemist. Again, Kishka gonna get hunted down. Tino and Lewis will find him. Coil finally popped. JG, Kishka coming in with a buyback as well. Isn't enough for the gyro kill. He's dropping low. Then Sanity will drop to Wonder Boy. But Tino is still a big damage dealer, which you have to worry about. He pops his BKB this time around. And he wants to use it just to TP away, as his ulti was running out. So Execration, at least a little bit of a price paid for getting the mid-racks.
Yeah, that was a really good start from Mongolz. They managed to get stuck with the Squirrel, get Shanks down, and then make the fight a little bit chaotic. Gyro was on his way to disengage or to help his team, and then he got lassoed, stayed in the base, and they were just able to make this team fight very scattered. And I think this might be the way the Mongolz want to approach the fights right now, because if you're thinking about a pure 5-on-5, it's probably hard, but if you're able to split them up and go one by one, I think that might give you a better outcome here. So Mongolz, I think they're just still showing a bit of signs of life here.
Maybe my finger got twitchy.
See if that sparks and ignites. But this is what we see from Liches these days. They find you, they kill you with the Ice Spire. Simple as that. Take down the support Tiny.
Top tower is under attack.
Positive side about the mid lane being down, it is the easiest lane to protect, considering distances to cover. But that bottom lane, once that falls, I think then Mongols are pushed to a position where they might not be able to get back in.
Yeah, also knowing that Roche is going to be up somewhere around daytime, so the bottom lane is going to be very important for you to potentially fight for Roche. And knowing the importance of it, it seems like Execration, they're just running down bottom tier 3 right now, knowing that Kishka has no buyback. He has used that for the previous fight, they know it. So how do you stop this push right now with 4 vs 5? Because this time around, Execration, they're not scattered around, they are together.
Yeah, last time it started with killing Shanks, right? As he mentioned, they're all just clustered up. Bat's almost fully taken down by the Hoodwink, and Lewis just needs one more connection onto Castaway. And he just managed to dodge that lasso primal pulverize attempt. Came in from another angle and finished him off with the Ag Swashbuckle. Coming out from the shield crash. So they're happy doing a bit of damage, getting a kill. Now it's back to let's get this mid-wave pushed in. Can we catch the puck? Is there any item that's coming up for the Mongols that could maybe save them?
I would say the AC is probably quite important here. Coming in for Alchemist, but it's so far away. I say AC because... okay, never mind.
Oh, poor JG.
Ah, that was brutal. Dying from the base, leading into a lane of Rex just disappearing in less than 5 seconds. I think that's the really we are seeing the power of armor reduction here coming out from Execration. Lycan plus Pango, Heroes melts, towers melts.
Yeah, all the mass TP's top. They found Kadori. And there's CML grabbing the bushwhack, misses, but it doesn't matter. Still a 4 vs 1 scenario. Now Execration, no Alk for 45 seconds. Tier 2 is a guarantee. And by the looks of their eyes, I feel like that high ground is also going to be a guarantee.
Yeah, the gameplay is simple right now. They don't really have to do anything special anymore. I feel like the effort, the work has been done in the past 20 minutes. This is where you reap the reward. Just go as 5, which is what they are looking to do. Maybe Tormentor first along the way, and then look to
why
just
not?
Close up the game.
Bit of an extra bonus. That's a pretty good chart to have, though, considering how tanky heroes should be. But they actually aren't that tanky enough on the Mongol side, that extra barrage damage. But honestly, it's just flavor at this point for Execration. However, Mongols on the right side, looking for an angle in. No, that's going to be the jump in with the Alk stun. Instant response from the Lich. They do actually get the pulverize off, and they're able to lead the Insanity. Now it's down to Lewis and Tino. Can they finish off the rest of them? The puck dies. JG falls. That's a dieback. Or at least would have been a dieback if that was the hero that bought back. It was Kishka. As mentioned, he's also out. But diebacks or buybacks or not, they have called this game, and that is game number 1 in the bag. Execration. It's a walk in the park.
indeed, there is no mercy coming out from Execration. I feel like they didn't hold back in terms of draft. They have a very good idea coming into...
Even if it looks a bit weird.
Yeah, but you know, this is the bread and butter for Execration. They are the best in playing this kind of very unorthodox draft. So very excited to see what kind of play they can bring out.
Maybe Tino is the one that has to cook this game. The last time he's played a competitive Undying was in 22 when we still had Wraith Pact in the game.
Okay.
And he has not played it in his pubs either, so I cannot find an Undying game in the last 2 weeks. He has a 20% win rate on the hero.
Alright.
So show me what you can do.
He might start the game with missing a couple of decays. So let's see. Unfortunately for him, Undying is not the hardest hero to play. Especially offlane Undying, right? Because you're always kind of tanky. You don't die easily as well. And most importantly, it's very beginner friendly because you have this innate that every 560 seconds you get to instantly respawn. So a lot of action. Also, we haven't talked about Mongolz as well. That they also did this role swap that we talked about, right? Phoenix is actually indeed going to JG as an offlaner.
So it is the offlane Phoenix, yeah.
Yes.
Just what I've been waiting
We were onto something.
with honor.
So it makes a lot of sense now to see a poke now coming out from Mongolz because they probably read it as well that Undying is going to be a 3. So they pick poke now with the Nether Ward. Maybe it's going to stop Undying from spamming decays and in return hinder his laning ability. So it's very much the first time I see a poke now versus an Undying on lane. So intrigued to see how they are going to play this lane out.
I like the setup there from Shanks and CML trying to punish early. Hopefully that somebody just walks down that lane, you get yourself the enchant slow, or start throwing in some spears, and then you have the Rubik there to help out as well. But nobody showing in the lane for a potential first kill.
Has been killed.
And off with the courier killing again, and make it a double.
Okay,
That's
very good
250
passive
gold.
income. Oh, we haven't talked about this too much as well, but Wonder Boy on his Invoker. This is one of the heroes that made him like stand up to him. I would say definitely
Made him a man.
Yes, for sure. I've known Wonder Boy since he was 16, I think. And back in whenever he was 16, he's already famous of his Invoker. So definitely his signature. And in a game like this where you desperately want a win, why not bring out your best hero?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a moment where you're ready for the challenge. You absolutely bring in the big guns and to tie the series up. So yeah, sure. If his CS, as we're seeing right now, doing pretty good there in the mid lane matchup versus the Earth Spirit. I think he is in a slightly favored matchup, but I wouldn't say too much because Earth Spirit is still a hero that if you find the right angle, the right moment, the burst damage that you deal, it's pretty crazy. Invo just has a lot of regeneration naturally built into the hero, so you'd have to wear this Invoker down slowly but surely.
Yeah, I feel like the two heroes that nowadays people like to pick into Invoker are Puck and also Earth Spirit. I think Earth Spirit mainly because you can just make rotations a lot faster than Invoker.
Yes.
Also, you have ability to push waves as well with your Buddha Smash, and this is something that Invoker is really annoyed by because there's no spells that Invoker can do to push waves, or at least match the speed of a Spirit. And Lewis, we know that he's a pretty experienced Spirit player, so I always like to see someone trying to outpace Invoker, and I think this is a very good hero for that.
Do you think looking at the heroes that the Mongols have, Lewis might even consider a potential vessel this game? Or do you feel like somebody else should be building it if it is the right... And what do you feel about the item in general?
I feel like nowadays Spirit Vessel, you kind of only want your mid lane to build it because it's kind of expensive nowadays, and people always buy a lot of these spells now. Like a lot of these carry heroes, like they have Manta, they buy Satanic, they buy so many dispels items, so you want the Spirit Vessel to come in a very strong timing. Even Invoker doesn't buy Spirit Vessel anymore because you just simply don't scale after it. But as a hero, for Spirit, I think it's super viable. It really depends on what build you want to go for. Do you want to go for Spirit Vessel into Shiva's BKB build, or do you want to go for Blade Mail Shiva's BKB? I think that's mainly the two routes that spirits are going nowadays, and it depends on which one you want to go for, and which one he deemed to have more value. Is it the Blade Mail or the Spirit Vessel?
Oh, Shanks is dropping pretty low here as we're discussing, as Castaway will get the kill with a Nether Ward off of the Rubik. And Mongolz this time around going to be the first ones on the board.
Good start for Mongolz.
I think the kitchen might be filled with some burning fumes, but let's not get ahead of ourselves yet with Execration. But it's definitely a better start for the Mongolz, and they really needed that too.
Yeah, that's for sure. Especially knowing that if you look at the CS chart right now, Alchemist not having a particularly the best game in terms of CS. Already a bit of a disparity here comparing to the DK and also the Undying. So a kill like that is really, really important for him. He wants to be able to get some XP and then having high level assist spray to finally go into the jungle and just start flash farming.
Yeah, they're still going to have to play up against that DK that will absolutely just grind the hell out of that jungle. Maybe even look a couple stacks for Execration inside the triangle. That DK will suddenly bounce out of the jungle with 3 big items. We're still looking at the Armlet, the Mask of Madness, and the potential early Crystallis or SNY BKB route, which is also another option. At least either one of those. But still a powerhouse when it comes to physical damage. And also the be-all, end-all for Execration, right? You were talking about the 4 Protect 1 style draft that they have, just with higher tempo earlier on.
Yeah. I do feel that they have... What makes me more... having less concern about Execution draft is that they have very good tools to shut down the Alchemist. For example, this Ange, right? It's one of the better heroes to use Gate. To put pressure on the enemy, which is why you see Dire already scanning the gate right now, because they know this Ange is gonna come through the gates.
It's perfect timing on it, right? Because it just insta-clicked, but they're already going on Castaway, so even with the scan, it might be too late. This Pugna is going to be worn down. CML will find this one. So yeah, I can see the idea that they have, but they were just a tiny bit too late on Execration getting their engines running.
I do feel like this move is inevitable from Mongolz, so I think they are very happy that only Castaway died here and not the Alchemist, because we saw how much pressure Alchemist was on the last time, and this time around he's like, alright, I'm not gonna put myself in the same situation again, I'm just gonna sack instantly. Let's just give up the lane, I'll go into the jungle, I'll try my best to have a much better game compared to the last one this time. Is Execution gonna let him go? That's the question.
Yeah, they're taking his stacks away at least. It's scary having all these heroes cleaning up the jungle, taking it away from the Alk, and of course, yeah, you just don't want to play into a level 3 decay. That's just a no-go.
Yeah, I would say Mongolz, they are stopping the bleed pretty well here. Then they understand that they have really no solid way to stop Execration from being this aggressive. Because normally, if you want to do that, you want to release pressure by putting in pressure yourself. That's how you release pressure. But if you look at their heroes, Magnus 4, not really the best hero for you to apply pressure on the lane, because this hero doesn't give you too much damage or doesn't bring stuns as well. Phoenix is the same thing. So if you look at DK, I feel like DK is gonna have a very happy time right here.
Oh, they're trying to go on Tino here, loading up the stun on Chidori. Kishka bringing him closer, and with the Tombstone placed down, Tino gets a moment to fight, but again, the Nether Ward is a bit too much to deal with. Chidori also get the Tombstone for himself, now fighting in mid. Wonderboy does have Lewis and CML around him. Gonna get pushed back by the Wildwing Ripper. Shanks has got the burst to take him out. JG, though, he'd like to use that egg. He's posturing himself very aggressively here, but Lewis might just force it out of him with that Magnetize, and it might be too much to deal with. They barely have any attack speed. Very good skewer from Kishka. It stuns Lewis. Shanks is down. CML trying to make a run for it. The JG burns down another one, and there goes CML as well. JG Kishka very nicely, this off-lane duo, finding a multitude of kills and turning a horrible situation into a very favorable one.
Yeah, that was very crucial coming out from Mongolz. Really good rotation coming out from JG. I honestly would have thought that Lewis was just trying to force the egg and then back off, but they chose to commit to it, underestimating the power of Fire Spirit. There was a level 4 Fire Spirit as well, so they literally did not have any attack speed to go through the egg. Very well done here by coming by the goal. I think this is really crucial for them to keep the game alive. I say that, but Ori.
Maybe he's just able to zone him out just long enough. All right, the Alchemist lives. Tino dies. And now Wonder Boy shows up as well. They can take down Shanks. So Mongols have come here to play. Execration maybe slightly giving the disrespect to the Mongols lineup. They weren't able to kill that Alchemist as easy as they were in the previous game.
Yeah, this time around it seems that Mongols, they are very prepared to defend their tower of Alchemist. Because the last game they gave it up a little bit too easily. But this time around they know that okay, we have a very strong Phoenix, we have a very strong Invoker as well. Like we actually have the tools to
It's
defend.
found dense. But is there anybody follow up on this? JG is slowly getting there. Invo's gonna have to keep his distance so that Hinder Walk or Hindergast doesn't apply onto him, and DK's got no idea what struck him. As his mana's gone, his HP is burning to a crisp, and Wonderboy and JG make sure they get this DK out of the way. But it's coming maybe at the price of their mid tower, where JG instantly rotates to.
JG is definitely making his presence being felt here. By Execration, a lot of these plays, it was successful because of him. So doing his best to hold the game in a very good space for Alchemist to eventually carry the game. And Magnus is also getting
it's a
closer
4K
and closer
lead
to,
actually for the Mongols too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
A lot of progress being made here.
Top lane.
Kishka can set up nicely here. It's going to be a 4 versus 2 situation. As this Rubik is going to be the one to fall first. Tornado catches Tino. The Undying doesn't really have an escape route. They're going to bring in with the RP. Make sure that EMP blast connects as well. So 10 kills for the Mongols. Execration. Well, now it's time to make a bit of a reality check.
Yeah, I think this is where they have to understand that, oh, guys, this game is not going to be as easy as the last one. So we got to stop making decisions so casually, because I feel like Tino, he may have overextended his stay on the top lane a little bit too much, because from what I've seen from the Execration, the two supports like to play around mid lane. They have been being active in the mid lane very aggressively so far. So knowing that, maybe Tino wants to be a little bit defensive or join the mid lane action. But so far he hasn't been. He has been overstaying on top lane, getting punished a little bit too much. But that is just Mongols making very good reads so far in the game.
I think their draft adjustments have to be the biggest ones, right? Like putting JG into that pause 3 position, how good that is versus this entire being of a core Undying. He's based on his attack speed that builds up his damage because he's spawning more zombies, and of course the Flesh Golem being in the fight with the damage amplification for his allies. They have huge burst thanks to it, but what good is that burst when you don't have the necessary crowd control to prevent that egg from going off? And you're going to need BKBs. You're going to have to find ways to dispel. You need items to counter this Phoenix. So what Mongols have been doing and adjusting with the draft gives them a lot of freedom to do the moves.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have Invoker, right? A hero that is... like, the whole kit of him is to get involved in these early scrimmages, and he will always be happy to join one of these. And we talked about Spirit Wrestler earlier. Invoker, we don't see this too much, but he is actually building into the Spirit Wrestler. Pretty good into triple strength cores, I would say.
Mag's also hiding his courier because I think he has a blink in it. He doesn't want to reveal it. Or didn't want to reveal it a moment ago at least. There we go. The Mag blink is up.
Invoker pushing out the lane aggressively so that he can get his Spirit Wrestler, because they know that this is their strongest timing right now. It's daytime, perfect time to smoke. So Kishka leading the squad.
There's still a ward on that cliff, right? So they did get the info on the blink and on the smoke. So if they're going to give somebody away, it's probably going to be CML. So Mag doesn't want to show just quite yet, and there comes JG. That will clean up CML.
Good job breaking this smoke.
Kishka is still invading. He's got Lewis nearby. Just needs a +1. He's probably going to get a +2. Oh!
Radiant's middle tower.
Well, that just happened.
A little bit of hesitation there. I feel like he lost some vision as well. That's why he wanted to stay out of the range of smoke break. But yeah, good attempt though. Good attempt. He still lead them into pushing down this mid tower, which is a pretty big objective gain. So not the worst for them.
Yeah, at least in terms of tempo, right? You want to get that mid T1 out of the way. We had a point. I think this has to be maybe a year, maybe 1.5 years ago when we had this whole Frontiers patch come out, that the mid T1 lost all significance because of how the meta was being treated at that time. We had heroes with like high armor, and we had heroes with high HP. We kind of still have that to this day, but the gameplay style of a lot of teams and players has shifted away from just, you know, tanky, sturdy, stand-still type of heroes. Meaning that this T1 has also kind of increased its importance as Den's Insanity is going to be caught by Kishka and Wonderboy and burning under the supernova of JG's Phoenix. Tino does want to maybe stand his ground, but it's not looking too hot for Execration. The tombstone is down. He's getting some big decays, and they're slowly wearing down Castaway and Wonderboy. But Tino is dead. They really need this Invoker kill. Do not let him TP out. At least that's what Lewis is saying, that he will not be left. And we'll take him down. Kidori finishes off a tower in the top area as we speak with this bottom fight going on. And Lewis is in huge trouble, and he still burns to the fire. JG dominating now on this Phoenix.
Radiant's top tower.
That was a good response. Response there from Lewis. If he didn't die there, I would say it's alright, but he wanted more. He feel like just the Invoker kill is not enough for his investment here in the bottom lane. So unfortunately getting punished there. But again though, very good move coming out from Mongolz. They managed to get the DK kill in the first place because they took the mid tier to 1 tower, right? And now Alchemist is gonna look for a move for himself, the dagger.
And he stuns himself as well, but it does get the job done. However, Shanks with the stolen skewer. We know that Shanks on Rubik can be a very scary force. Kishka comes up with the RP. Nice debuff supplied there by JG with the Shivas and the Fire Spirits. And they really want this Phoenix kill, and they need just a couple more hits to get it. Pugna giving the regeneration, and there we have it. Shanks is able to take JG down, and Execration has found 3 without losing anybody. And now make it a 4th as well with Castaway getting caught. So instantly, Mongolz, they tried to make a play, and only a slight mistake spoiled it all.
That could have looked so good actually if Alchemists were able to throw out the unstable concoction. Because he would be able to get 2 supports, two heroes, and then maybe do some damage to kill them, but instead he stunned himself, got Skewer back to tier 2, and everyone just activated their Save Your Brother syndrome. Like, guys, save our carry, save our captain here.
Yeah.
And they just one by one, they get out of position, they get punished. So really good fight coming up from Execration. They were managed to do so because they were together. They were not being greedy, trying to split out the map on all 3 lanes to get some farm. They were actually together, ready to make sure that they defend this jungle invasion coming out from Mongolz, and that allowed them to reap the reward. So still, I think Mongolz are in control of this game, but they need to understand that after this, they should know, oh, the fighting power coming out from Execration is actually quite strong too. Let's not make any silly mistakes anymore.
They got a pretty big tool in that Rubik, having both Skewer and now a Blink Dagger. CML is going to be the one to be found first here for Kidori and Wonderboy. And they have been hunting this Magnus for a while. Kishka has his Blink of cooldown. He blinks in and pushes the DK in. Going to get sent up in the air with the Tornado. Then Sanity, he's dropping, and it doesn't look like he's getting any backup here. So they're going to have to sack the DK. 2 kills for the Mongolz right after. Can they keep up this pressure? They'd love to get control of the triangle once again. Execration did drop double wards in there, so they'd be blind if they lose control of this area. They want to defend it.
Radiant's
Can he
top
do
Yeah,
it
this is
without
the
the
best
DK?
part.
attack.
This is the best place for them to fight right here, right now. They have Blink Skewer from Rubik, so they're desperately looking for a chance, and especially this is where Alchemist has
he
not
found
gotten
someone.
his BKB.
It's straight onto Kishka himself, so his own tools are being used against him. Egg is placed down under the T2 tower. There's the Sunstrike that also connects onto Lewis, and Tino dead. CML trying to make a run for it away from Kidori. JG getting some damage with the Sunray, and Shanks has got another. That tornado does connect on both, all three actually, with that ice wall too. And it might just be all of them dying pretty much. Wonderboy does fall first. Tino surviving somehow, but Kitori finishes him off, and there comes the DK. And Kitori will pop his BKB. He's got no ulti. He's in huge trouble. He might just die here, but the Decrepify.
No!
That's a big save by Castaway. On to the next
JG
one.
though.
JG also disappears with the Icarus dive. Oh, without that
that was
Decrepify, that Alk would have been gone.
Yeah, really clutch coming from Castaway. Oh, they're fishing again.
Yeah.
Fishing game.
Indeed it is. Oh. CML gonna get shish kebabbed by Kishka.
The game is slowly becoming a game of fish right now, because I think Shanks, he knows like his role this game is to get the early blink. So normally you see Rubik get like Glimmer, you know, sometimes Solar or Yields into the mech, but no, he's like, let me get the early dagger, let me get the skewer, and we have our own fishing pool. And we have seen him does it a couple of times already to pretty good effectiveness. But that fight was just Mongolz being super ready to take the fight. So very good job by them. It definitely feels like Mongol, this game, they are awake. Like Castaway managed to
Dire's top tower
break up his
is
team
under
a little
attack.
bit more. And we are starting to see the potential of this team, right? Like we have talked about how this stack is a new stack that is able to challenge the 4th or 5th spot, or maybe 3rd in Southeast Asia. And if they are able to keep playing like this, I feel like they are really showing their potential.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And
Still,
Roshan
got
is
a-
on their sights. You know, you've got this 17,000 net worth Alchemist. He's a proper hero this game around. AC almost done. Shard also lined up. And he changed his facet for this game, so that was the problem,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, probably. You're probably like, ah, guys, this is my first game. I forgot about my facet. You would think that this sounds silly and funny, but it actually happens. Like it happens.
It actually does happen. But hey, Roche is taken. Aegis is gone. CML, they were a bit late with this smoke to invade that Roche pit. It was not going to be an easy job in the first place, but can they get some damage done here onto the Mongolz? Tino on the side, drops the tombstone inside the Roche pit. It's a good place to have it. Lewis charging onto the back. The X going to be popped. Tino is dead though, and the RP used. Kishka is dead as well. Wonderboy getting a lot of damage onto Lewis. He pops a blade mail, but I don't think this Earth Spirit's going to get a whole lot out of this one. Kidori though,
Trouble.
that's his first life gone. They also have the stolen RP from Shanks and gets himself a nice lockdown on Castaway, and there goes Wonderboy. So Mongolz might have taken Roshan and the Aegis, but it's a pretty uncomfortable price that they pay for this one, and Kidori just needs a couple more seconds to have his blink ready. He's not going to get chased. But some really nifty spell usage. The Magnus RP is getting outshined by the Rubik RP.
Yeah, that was a very 50-50 team fight, I feel like, but
Shanks.
nevertheless. Oh, Shanks. Okay.
An attempt
Not
was
quite
made.
sure what he's trying to do there. Maybe trying to steal the wisdom rune.
Steal the wisdom, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like the decision making there was pretty on point for Execration. They probably understood that, okay, for Alchemist to take the Roche, he will have to he will have to use his Chemical Rage, and by the time they finish the Roche, Chemical Rage might just come to an end, and that's exactly when they choose to strike. But I do feel like without the very on point spell usage, it might not go so well for them, because in this fight, we are starting to see that
I've been waiting.
Tino is really getting quite countered in the team fight against this Phoenix, against the Nether Ward. He's not able to do what he wants to set up for. You know, he's not able to spam his decays, nor to hit people to make use of the facet. So Tino, I feel like he desperately needs the BKB right now.
Is under attack.
CML posturing very aggressively, but has the haste rune. not in real any trouble here with this Enchantress.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Though I think Arthur, we're really in for a good game here because Mongolz, despite a couple of mistakes here and there, the lead does still keep them well enough into this game, but you have to worry about the late game of this DK at some point. So do you think they're on a timer right now and they need to push their advantage?
Oh, hold on though.
Well,
but Shiro he's going into a for play.
they are getting some indications of that at least, yeah. As hunt down CML. That's a lot of buffs and debuffs on this Enchantress still. It feels like the buffs are going to overweigh the negative ones. Dory running in circles. Not entirely sure where to go at the moment as they throw in the stun onto the DK. Nobody wants to follow. Execration, instant smoke. I really like how Execration, like a lot of these SEA teams, like they disengage into an instant smoke and go right away. This was a very minor fight, and they might catch Mongolz completely off guard.
Yeah, the only reason they make this point is because they know that Alchemist doesn't have Chemical Rage anymore. So they want to make use of this very, very small timing and window.
Heal us.
They're in the perfect position. Wonder Boy pops CML smoke, and now they know where they are. They know what they're doing. Alc pops his ult, loads up the stun, finds the Insanity. Lewis rolled away. Do they sack the DK? That's not the one that they want to give away. Quick group up. Right aware of that Alc ulti. Tombstone. Looks like
Now is the time to smoke.
Okay,
Very
there
back
we
and
go.
forth.
Smoke on smoke. Can you get out? CML. It's got Kishka right behind him. Quick sproink away, but no good this time around. Shockwave might be a bit of a miss. With the shard, it's a guaranteed connection. So yeah, smoke on smoke. We went from the mid tier 2 to the top tier 2 back to the mid tier 2.
Exactly, and 2 smokes were being used in the span of 2 minutes from each side. It starts from Mongolz being the aggressor first, throw some spell, didn't work, Execration decided to chase, didn't work out as well, and Mongolz turns to chase again. And then finally, the only one that died on this section
That's
is
deep
Ash.
for an RP. Is that too
Maybe
deep,
DK too?
Kishka? Nobody's there to help you. Kidori throws in the stun. He's got Lewis, but Lewis is still holding his ground valiantly, but not long enough as Shanks pushes Kidori in. Didn't get his BKB off on time, but it's enough on the high ground to kill Shanks. And also Lewis's courier just getting annihilated by JG in the process.
I feel like Execration are getting a little bit overexcited. Like they didn't have the Undying around, but they still decided to pocket a little bit back, knowing that Mongolz might be around S5, and they did get punished by that. And this is the time where we are going to see the power of Alchemist with Alacrity. Oh, actually Alacrity was on the siege though, but still managed to take down the tier 2 tower. But you asked the question just now whether or not Mongolz are on a timer. I do feel like they kind of are, but the thing is, the room for error on Execration draft is so small. I feel like because it's eventually going to be a DK NOBO game where DK has kind of 1 versus 9. I feel like,
Yeah.
unless a spree gets really huge, because we're starting to see that Tino's presence is getting smaller and smaller throughout the game right now.
Yeah, the hero doesn't exactly scale excellently, but maybe with the
Well.
damage amp still on the Flesh Golem, and we have the Daedalus queued up on this DK, and that is going to be a game-changing item, considering he has already so much built under it.
Oh, Kishka, speaking of that, he dropped
Kishka
somewhere.
died in the bottom lane by the Edge and the DK, but they might get a tier 2 as a response. Not a whole lot of items in this Undying's inventory.
He really wants the BKB.
6 level difference between the two. With that Orchid, he'll just clean him up. No issue.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Respawn instantly though, thanks to the init. So he will be on his way to farm BKB again. No time wasted. Just a little bit of gold fed to the enemy side. But at this point, I feel like all you want to do is to grab your BKB as soon as possible so that you are in the shape of fighting. Because right now, they are not at all.
Well, at least Kidori, despite that one little mistake of a death, it's pretty much his only won this game. 9, 1, and 9. compared to the 0-8 game he was having in game number 1. It's like night and day. He's really been able to pull off a good Alchemist performance here.
A good redemption for sure. For
Redemption,
so far.
yeah.
He's also going for the Blood Torrent as well, which is one of the better items. Allow you to burst, tanky heroes down.
Yep. Even through BKB, those true strikes. Pretty sizable damage. So Wisdom Steal happening there from both sides.
The game has been slowed down a little bit though, compared to the non-stop action that we had 5 minutes ago. So I think this is kind of good news for Execration, so that they can, really buy their time to get into fighting shape, which they finally are right now with Tino finishing his BKB. So they probably want to look for a good fight for themselves, but the question is how, because they really don't have any solid initiation.
Yeah, and you're playing
rather than just.
And you're playing 3 melees into RP, right?
Exactly. So they really want to fight, but also they need to look for a good fight as well. So you don't want to be impatient about these things.
He's trying to get a very careful push going on down bottom as well. Aware of the same, that this game could be hanging on a knife's edge. And Kidori is not with his team currently, farming the jungle camps. Execration knows about this, that these have been freshly farmed, with the minute changing. And now they've found him as well, CML. He'll lead the charge with the Enchantress. Here comes Tino and the rest of the boys. Kidori lifted up. They couldn't quite cliff him, even though they had the opportunity to potentially remove the Alchemist from the fight, and CML will just be way too deep in. Nobody was able to follow up on that Enchantress.
That's a very good kite coming out from Mongolz. They understand that the tombstone is on the right side of the cliff. So once they finish off the kill on CML, they're like, okay guys, let's kite this out. Undying has used BKB, and Tombstone he's not able to fight. So when we kite this out, we are going to look for better opportunities after. And that's exactly what they do right now. Playing with a lot of
I was wondering
so
for a
far.
moment that they weren't actually going to cliff the Alchemist there, because Rubik did have the range to just toss him there.
That is true, yeah. He might not be able to have a very easy way to get down from the cliff. Oh, they're pinging on Tino. They know that this guy has no BKB.
Oh, what a tornado! Nice catch from Wonder Boy. Knows exactly where he's going to be, and that Undying, without his BKB, is just fresh meat for Wonder Boy. The man you were saying, the Invoker Prodigy.
Absolutely, that was very on point as well. Press the TP, look for the Undying.
Slaying a beautiful trap here! He's stunned though before he got the RP off! Oh, no! Insta-stunned. That was, I think, the DK Dragon Tail, so he wasn't able to get anything off. Now, there's a lot of damage coming onto the DK, and then CML. Which doesn't really survive as well as the DK does with his BKB. Quick kick from Lewis. Roll away from some distance. They are only down to 3 heroes on the side of Execration. Yeah, that could have been disastrous.
So close. That was so close to be beautiful coming out from Mongolz. Really quick finger and reaction coming out from DK. JG, not an easy kill.
Yeah, Phoenix wanted to cliff himself. He gets decliffed by Shanks. Now Shanks forcing his own Yules, and he'll be taken down.
Are they just gonna run to the Roche? Probably just try to make it solid and safe.
Yeah.
They understand that they need this Roche to eventually go up high ground. So exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah, with the
Playing it safe.
Bloodthorn. Not exactly your best Roche hitters, except for the Alchemist, but they'll get the job done. Meanwhile, Lewis is trying to roll away, but again...
Sunstrike?
Woo!
Oh!
Wonder Boy! Just what you need. You need a good performance from your mid player, and that's exactly what they're getting.
Yeah,
Kishka.
beautiful stuff coming up so far from Mongolz. It feels like they are just very in sync with each other. You know, you see the 3-man doing Roche, and then Phoenix is ready to pop on the Boost of Travel on the Force Spirit, while Invoker is going for the solo hunt, and it worked out. It feels like they are feeling it right now, Mongolz. It's good to see that they managed to turn around from such a brutal game 1, I would say. Game 1 was brutal.
Yeah.
If they come back from that, it takes a very strong mental strength, I would say.
And even slightly cooking with the draft, but truly the way that they set up the lanes, into the way these heroes transition in as the game progresses, support Magnus, all he really needs to do is just, you know, land the RP. Honestly, that's what the hero does in late game anyway. You have a couple extra flavor items, maybe you have Horn Toss. But the hero still does exactly what he's supposed to. It's a BKB piercing debuff that you apply on your opponents. So when you have a Phoenix in a core position who suddenly has a whole lot more money, that hero can be built in so many different ways and have so much different types of impact. That also benefits his team quite a lot here. So I really like how Mongolz set things up for this game too.
Yeah, exactly. Also, when you have a Magnus, you want your core to be able to in the enemy face, right? To bait their damage, to drag attention for you so that you can go in for an easy RP. Both Phoenix and Alchemist fits that build completely. Especially, like I say, it's a core Phoenix. He has a lot more survivability compared to a support. He can always just dive in and bait some damage before he pops his egg. So perfect enabler coming up from Mongolz for this Magnus pick.
Yeah, Execration, they just wanted to have a good time here, but Mongolz are all about the anti-fun. You want to play offlane Undying? Well, we're going to play offlane Phoenix.
So
12,000 lead too on that Aegis. Alk is not the best Aegis carrier. That is a fact. But in a game like this, it feels like it could even be good, considering Execration, if they don't get the DK to hit the Alchemist 24/7, might even be able to get another a Chemical Rage off.
Yeah, not to mention there's always the get out of jail card from Pass Away, right? The Pogna will be always able to maybe build out from dangerous situations, as we have seen it happen once already, in a very clutch way. So Execration, they are looking to take a bigger risk now.
This is definitely a risk. The shockwave has already interrupted them quite a lot. They found JG, and the silence and the stun comes up. The egg's there, and they're not hitting the egg yet. But this is gonna take a while, boys. And it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work versus a level 3 egg. And he's got a refresher for a second. It's an absolute disaster for Execration. But the Mongolz got the fight that they wanted.
Yeah, this is exactly why the synergy that we are talking about between the Magnus and Alchemist Phoenix. Your Phoenix, you know, in this scenario, you were never afraid to be the one being initiated on, because you know that you have a lot of backups behind you. And it's really hard for Execration to just commit to the egg, because you know that the RP is always gonna come. You know it in the back of your head.
They needed a total of 13 attacks to destroy that first egg. And they don't exactly have the highest attack speed heroes in this lineup, so that job falls on the DK, and they started it a little bit too late too. When you see that second egg, or at least when the first egg explodes, that's kind of like, well, that's kind of GG for this fight. Start looking at the second one. Well, what is that second fight going to look like? Because you're going to have at least 2 lanes of Raxstam.
Yeah, when Alchemists get to this picture, it is absolutely scary. You have Solar Crest and Power, Alacrity. So once the Alchemist is able to hit tower like this, they are gonna be gone so quickly. Look at it.
The model can barely keep up with the attack speed. Oh, the base attack speed, talent, and everything. The Alacrities, the Solar Crests, the Berserk Potion. Man, it's good to be an Alchemist.
This is the dream of an Alchemist.
25 seconds for the DK. He's going to buy back. They're going to go in. They're going to try and make it work. Lewis hits the back line. Only level 18 on this Earth Spirit, so not even a Magnetized piercing all of these BKBs that their enemy has. And Lewis will wear down Kidori. He's got no Aegis, though, as it wear out, actually. But they needed a couple extra hits, and they don't quite get it. And now he's regenerating. Also from JG with the Sunray. And they will pop an egg right in front of him. And with the cold snap on the DK, he's going to get hit by the egg explosion. And also protecting Kidori inside was JG with the Phoenix. So that is going to take us to a game 3, Arthur.
Hype? Yeah, we're talking about if Mongols are able to come back from such a brutal game 1, and they prove to us that they definitely can. So this is like a very good showing for the mental strength of this team. Also, they are doing it in such fashion, right? It does feel like they play with a lot of discipline this game. And
I'm just looking at the the Bane from CML. It's his 3rd most played hero in competitive games, with 86 games and 64% of a win rate. So he's definitely comfortable bringing this Bane. Probably answers our questions of what the hell is this hero doing over here, but we'll just let time show who of these two wants the victory more, because it would punch them a ticket to the upper bracket semifinals, and then you'd only be 2 series away from qualifying to DreamLeague Season 25. As mentioned earlier, we have 2 slots from SEA, and these 2 teams have shown the hunger for it, at least with Mongolz tying the series up. Otherwise, if we base everything on Game 1, a lot of people would have been expecting it's going to be a fast 2-0.
no,
Anybody's going to be stopping Execration, so well adjusted. And now we're going to fight. We've waited 2 games for the first blood fight to happen. These cogs are causing a bit of a nuisance here. Nicely placed down by Kishka. But nobody dies yet, so we're going to get a quick taste, but not the kill itself.
Yeah, you really don't want to go into this level 1 fight with a Morphling. Like, you are automatically on a 4 versus 5 situation. Shanks, though, still positioning around trying to threaten the bounty rune. Could be quite dangerous if the Clover is able to get on top of him with the cog. But no, it seems like it's going to be 2 for 2 for both sides.
All right. Already even trade to kick things off. No kills yet. Have to wait a bit longer for that to happen. But yeah, the double melee offlane there for the Mongolz, the Clockwork and the Mag, going up against double range heroes. At least they both don't like playing versus Clockwork, so with those cogs, burning Morphling's mana pool, burning Bane's mana pool, suddenly those short range heroes don't feel too bad.
That is true, yeah, that is a very good point actually. So they might be able to just play the lane straight up compared to before, where they need to do this creep pooling shenanigans, which is what we are seeing from Qualifier right now. Just straight up playing the lane. And I do feel like Magnus is one of the... I wouldn't say this is a hero that can pressure Morphling per se, but at least you have enough high base damage to threaten the CS. And always making sure that Morphling is playing with like high HP, which in turn won't be easy for him to get CS.
Yeah. Pushing under the tower, definitely not fun for the Insanity. But when CML, once he does hit that level 2, I wouldn't be too surprised if he just levels up the Nightmare, because then Kishka can no longer pull the creep wave. If he does, CML will just Nightmare, and the creeps lose interest in the Clockwork. Which also makes Bane really good as just that lane support. Why he's really formidably found a place. Because he's great in 1v1s, and then of course prevention of the pulling. JG does hit level 2 and goes for a quick skewer play, but doesn't quite get him to run through a cog for an extra mana burn.
Okay, I mean it looks like the lane that Bane just, you know, probably hard for him to find killing opportunities here, because Morphling you really want to just get through level 3, get to level 3 and then start doing small damages here and there. But to be able to take down these 2 melee tanky heroes from full HP, is not the most likely for them. So probably not aiming for that, probably just aiming for having good last hits on Morphling, which is what he's doing pretty well. In 14 last hits already, highest in the among all the cores.
Yeah, it's already doubled to the carry DK on the other lane. Going up against the Razor and the Bat. Not really a fun matchup for the DK to play. As we can see here, Tino, who has shown his readiness to play pretty much any hero in the offlane. And also has a decent matchup for him as well. Bane in trouble, though. As Kishka will pull out the first blood, throwing in the blood grenade and having the battery assault. Now the
Again,
Freeman
another
Lotus.
pretty good start.
That's also going to be taken away. Kishka did have to use it instantly, though.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pressure coming out from the Morphling. Understanding that he wants to force the Lotus out of their hand as soon as possible. Also knowing that he has a pretty big wand, so he's not going to be in any threat of dying there.
Just kind of reminded me of this Clockwork, but there's this one hero who really doesn't care about Clockwork all game. Well, I wouldn't say all game long, but pretty much all game long. And you know what I'm talking about?
Jack Hero?
Husker.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's no mana to burn, so there's no one to zap.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Can't play
Pick up his-
pinball against the hero.
I think I've been seeing way too much Husker rising. I was actually watching Tomato stream earlier on today. I was like, I see a pos 4 Husker in this game. I have a friend in my party who's spamming pos 5 Husker now, and that's all he does.
Okay.
And I'm still
Do you like
surprised we're
playing
not.
with him then? That's my question.
Yeah, I have doubts. I have my doubts from time to time, but
You say this though, but I've seen Scam been playing some post 5 Huskar too in his venture to 16k MMR. So maybe that is like a viable options, but we'll see. We'll see when the NA qualifiers is up and if Scam is gonna make this thing viable.
yeah, we still need to see which pro is going to bring it in for everybody to play on the pro scene, because it's definitely being done in pubs right now. But luckily, not in this matchup at least. Wonderboy getting some help
Lewis?
from his support rotating in. Castaway does get the slows applied, and Wonderboy with the Frost Shield, and CML looking for the return kill. He's got the Enfeeble and the Blood Grenade, so that's going to seal him off. And now we got a support battle in the mid lane. So we went
He needs
from
to play pinball.
we went from 1v1 to 3v3, and Kishka's the one to die first.
1v1.
And now Shanks versus Castaway. Castaway's got 4 stacks of napalm, and Shanks is going to have to let go in the chase. The mids are going to respawn, and they want to take back control of their lane. All right.
Variation pack here on the mid lane. That was such a haste up TP coming out from Castaway, understanding that, okay, this is the exact moment that my Spirit is able to get the roll in, so he pressed TP even before the roll started, so really good communications coming out from the Mongolz. It kind of gives you the vibe of their energy level, right? It does feel like they are constantly in the top, constantly trying to make something happen.
Definitely feeling the vibe that we can make these plays happen if we just believe in ourselves. Tino 3 versus 1. They will hunt down the Razor. Create some space for Kidori.
It is definitely starting to feel for me that Mongolz, they are outpacing Execration.
Oh, Echo Slam stacks, by the way. There we go. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Didn't even need the Deduran to kill the entire stack.
I felt something move.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Kishka, slightly late to soak up some of that experience off of the stacks.
Only
Yeah,
if
Lewis
Kishka
is-
went there a bit earlier, we might have seen the, we might have seen him just died to the facet of the Earthshake. I don't know
Yep.
how to call that, but
It's the Slugger.
the waves. Yeah.
I could call them the waves, yeah. Yeah, even the Echo Slam waves would have killed, and the Slugger waves as well. Like, yeah, both of those combined. Oof.
Yeah. That was a good recovery though. Very good heads up stacking from Execration. Understand that this is the way for them to enable their shaker. Because I
They
think when you
know
have
their
shaker,
way.
exactly. Make them strong.
Yeah, that puts the Shaker nicely top of net worth of everybody else. Insanity baiting Kishka and the poison, and now Castaway is also pulled inside the
Oh,
cogs.
Shidori is here.
And he's not even in a good position, is he? Kidori! And loading up the RP momentarily. Densanity could use some backup, but his backup has already fallen. That is going to be Wonderboy also cleaning up a kill for himself. So Execration will lose too. Maybe even the tower as well, because that is still a DK form up and running. They're hunting down Shanks. Into the cogs he goes. Trying to get some more connections on him, but that battery assault won't do nearly enough damage. They actually have to call off this push. And maybe even lose JG in the process with CML coming in. Nightmare nicely taken away by Castaway, so JG gets a chance to turn some damage in, but he's so low.
Slow.
But there's an Earth Spirit. There's also Kishka coming in, and suddenly they're bringing more numbers than Execration did. So Shanks trying to escape, but gets pushed straight back in by the cogs. So that's a sequence.
That was such a good initiative from Mongolz. I feel like they, even though they weren't able to take down the tower, but they put so much pressure on Execration side. I think what you want to do is to constantly make Execration be on the reactive foot. So they feel like, okay, we are never able to do our own moves because we are always reactive. I think when you are able to put your enemy in this kind of state, you are slowly getting like control of the map and how the game wants to go in your way. So that was good initiation. I feel like. Unfortunately, they didn't get the tower, but still, you are able to make the enemy support being a very low level because they are busy reacting instead of finding levels.
Like Execration might finally find a kill for themselves off of Kishka, but there's backup arriving, and Castaway wants to use that moment to his advantage. Because of the Frostbound, nobody can actually get near CML to retaliate. So Mongolz, despite getting caught, are the ones to actually set up for a kill again. They're up to 9 now. The only thing that is really keeping this net worth from not flowing into Mongol's favor is mainly because the Shaker's been so actively farming throughout the jungle.
Yes, I just did that.
It was important that Shaker wasn't dragged into all that reactive sequence that happened on the bottom side. He was just constantly farming stacks, pushing out mid lane, taking stacks, and then hopefully he wants to aim for the early dagger, and then that's where he's gonna get into the action. I think they're pretty sure right now on Execration side. They understand that at the end of the day, they are running with a double carry action. So as long as the game is stabilized, they are happy with that. They are not in any pressure to make a lot of moves right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also know that they don't have to worry about this Morphling for at least another 10 minutes.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Carefully decide which moves they want to make. Same for the Execration side. Understanding that if this game does go late game, then we've got our answers. But the one thing that can hurt them the most if they don't get to play that late game, if this game just slides out of their control completely. So dictating these moves, Morphling is maybe running into some danger territory. There's a bunch of people around, and with that flare that will make themselves known. There's a rolling from behind into the skewer, into the RP, but he did get the strength morph out, and this Morphling's able to get away. That's everything used from Mongolz. And here comes the retaliation from Execration. JG pushed away. The lasso is there. Nice ulti from the Lich from Castaway, and they'll be able to deal with both of them. Insanity turning into the Magnus gets a bit of a shockwave damage in there. Now Lewis and CML, they clean up the Insanity. The kick is a bit too much, but with the link on from Tino and also spotting where Castaway is. He was trying to protect himself with the Cobalt, blocking the other entrance, but they did have vision on him. So they clean them up. It was a well-played attempt, only spoiled by Morphling pressing a button just in time.
Yeah, that was very costly, even though they got the Morphling kill, but I feel like you want to be able to progress the game without bleeding so much on the side of the Mongolz, because eventually you're playing into double carry, so I assume that they must not feel good right now. They're probably thinking about, okay, how do we make the next move a little bit cleaner? It's challenging because you're playing into Morphling. Always, you have to really squeeze that execution to kill him cleanly. Almost made no work though. So they changed that target to Tino. Much easier kill for sure compared to the Morphling.
It's going to be a pretty difficult one to take him down, but it looks like they might be able to wear him off, even with Chidori having no right-click damage left. Well, actually only minus 39, so not that many points put into the link on the Razor. They did lose a tower as a trade, though, so like Execration's kind of alright giving the
Dire's
Razor
middle
away.
tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Yeah. I feel like Mongols are always facing this question, right? Like, how can we keep the pressure going all the time? Because that's kind of what they have to do to slow down Execration, and also while also waiting for DK to finally hit his timing and then be ready to end again. I think PK still needs another 10 to 15 minutes to do so, to get to that point. So this is where the four of Mongols, they really need to just keep applying pressure to Execration side without bleeding too much themselves.
It's a pretty difficult smoke here, even if they are right under vision. Lewis gets a jump in on Castaway, but they were hoping to find maybe two heroes stacked up right next to each other's. Fortunately, it's just going to be Castaway. That kill doesn't really give them too much, but the blink is revealed. We're halfway to the Ags on the Shaker.
Shaker is having a really good time now. It's very rare that you see a Shaker having more net worth than
Dire's top tower is
the
under
Morphling,
attack.
who is also having a pretty good game himself. So all the stacks are really coming in handy here, and they are still stacking for the Shaker. So I think that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are always out efficienting enemy side, because you know that the Osprey is always running around looking for kills. But as long as you don't get baited into his non-stop action, I think you eventually outskilled him, and that is exactly, it seems like exactly the plan that Execration is trying to do right now. Make sure that our triggers are always hitting creeps instead of running around for kills.
Yeah, one positive side of having that Blink Dagger, even if it's not for fighting, it's going to increase the farm speed of the Shaker by quite a lot. You should be able to hit his timings pretty quickly. Then all they really need is for the Morphling to carry the rest, and late game Razor, well, that is a whole different beast. Echo slam there by Lewis, wants to turn around on the Magnus, and he will do so. Probably, I mean, this is a moment where you tip your opponent or you don't.
Yeah, they're good friends,
Under
so
attack.
not tipping seems like the way to go
Yeah.
here. Okay, I can respect that. That was also the Arcane Rune Echo Slam as well. So that Echo Slam is gonna come out in no time. Very soon, Execration will be able to make a move themselves as well. Seems like Mongolz looking for something in
He's
the top
already
lane.
on the move here. We'll find
CML.
CML. Insta-silenced. Tino watching on the sidelines. There's nothing he can do.
Tower still. Oh, tower was dropped earlier, I believe.
Ooh, nice hook shot. Actually catches Shanks on the Twin Gate. And then Sanity dies in the bottom lane at the same time. So with the Earth Spirit and the Magnus, Morphling, they tried this kill before. Now Kishka still battling it out with Shanks, and this Bat Rider will finally drop.
Dire's
Yeah, this was
middle
where
tower
they
is under
fought.
attack.
And an RP was used.
Yeah, seems like it's probably a combination of RP and Chain Frost that caught Morphling off guard. Wasn't able to morph the Shrine. So that was a big kill there coming out from Mongolz. They have to keep getting this kind of kills though. That is where it is probably a little bit harder. And you can see that Magnus pushed the wave all the way into tier 2. So Morphling will have to show himself at the bottom side. Perhaps this is gonna give a goal for Mongolz to try to make something happen again. They have quite a lot of info on the map right now. Seeing Chicken at mid, seeing Morphling at bottom.
Radiant's
Smoked
top tower
up,
is under attack.
and they popped the flare. So suddenly the heroes disappearing in the direction they ran into. They should know about this smoke, and they're stacking up on the high ground position. Clockwork is exactly on the place to be in. Place their wards down on the high ground, though, and they will look for this Clockwork, but there's no
silence!
lasso with the silence coming out. The
Dire's
geomagnetic
structures are
grip
fortified.
acting on top of the Bat Rider before he's able to connect. Lewis, though, still jumping about. Find a stack for himself. And there's the counter smoke from Mongolz.
That's
You
the
gotta
C
find yourself a
special.
good target to jump on, though.
Radiant are scanning.
There's a Kishka with the hook shot going in first. There's a shield rune as well for the Earth Spirit. He rolls in. CML, nice dodge, just in the nick of time.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, Chidori is here to finish the job, take down this mid tower, and we talk about how important, like, not importance, but the things that you can do when you remove enemy mid tier 1 tower. You're able to get into the triangle, get into the main jungle, and if you're lucky, maybe you get some kills and lead you to Wisdom or Commander. And this is exactly what they do. They invade the jungle, probably gonna cut 2 waves as well, and this is gonna give them a lot of economic gain.
What do you think Execration's thinking about right now? Because the tempo of the game definitely slowed down a lot on both sides, and they wanted to finish their next items. But what do you think about the Execration? Are they still feeling confident in their draft?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say this pace probably benefits them more than Mongolz, because they do have answers to the DK in their draft. So as long as this game doesn't turn into like a game where DK can just bypass all the counters and end the game, I feel like this is a pace that Execration can be happily acceptable for them. I feel like this is where Execration, they just want to make sure that no accidents happen until Morphling gets to his point, until Razor gets to his timing. Which is why we see the 2 supports are always around some cores. They know that it's hard to gank the Morphling, so it's much easier to kill the Razor. So 2 supports has always been around Razor somehow, just trying to hit the body. To make sure that, okay, if you want to kill the Magnus, you have to go through me. You have to step through my dead body.
Yeah. It's also a game where I'm just not only just the observer, but me as well, just looking at CML. When and how does he get that ulti off? And maybe even a better prediction. How long is that ulti gonna last? There's a whole ton of crowd control inside of Mongolz. They pop those smokes. JG sees Tino charging in first. That's not the one that he wants to focus on. Roland from Wonderboy, bit of a miss at the same time as Kishka already initiated the lassos there. Shanks is dead. Then Sanity fighting for Chidori. They're all stacked up right now, and JG looking for the RP, but CML getting a nice duration ulti off, and they will clean up JG, but Chidori is still dealing so much damage. And it's too much for the Morphling to take. Tino pressured under the tower by Wonderboy. Still has a couple more magnetizers up his sleeve.
CML is still here.
All of his spells on cooldown. Unfortunate for the Bane. He's just going to have to let this DK and the Earth Spirit walk away. But they got a couple kills, but they do lose the Morphling in this engagement while the DK lives. He's still got a clean game.
Yeah, I think this is exactly the kind of fight that Mongolz wants. You want to be able to take down either Razor or Morphling while your DK remain undead. So this is where you are able to pull off the net worth gap between DK and the 2 cores, and this is the recipe for you to allow your DK to bypass the counters. And I think they have officially done that for the first time in this game so far. Just involve DK in the fight and make it a successful one. It was also a questionable decision coming out from Execration as well, because they were running up high ground without any vision. And they probably understood that Mongolz controlled the hill too. So that was Mongolz fighting with a lot of vision advantage. Which is why it wasn't an easy fight at all for Execration. But yeah, Mongolz, they capitalize on it, and they're probably going to make their way towards Roshan right now. And once we have Daedalus on DK with Aegis, that's going to be a very scary timing for Mongolz. And probably the stronger one.
Yeah, they also got the shard up on Castaway. Very nice to have it on the Lich this early on. Roshan is proving a bit problematic for the Mongols, though.
Seems like they're not sure if they want to commit for Roshan here. They probably think that maybe our damage is a little bit too low. There's no one on Execration showing themselves too, so they might be contesting us, and they don't want to take the risk.
Yeah, Execration, they won't get to control this area now. That means that they're going to lose these wards. They're also not entirely sure what is the plan here that the Mongols were setting up, but they have smoked up and they're returning to the Roche pit now.
Could be scary. Mongols line up.
Also blink on Lich. This could be huge.
Mongols line up are so good in rush pit fights, man. This is gonna be nasty.
Kishka, smoke's already popped. CML standing in between. The rolling comes out from Wonder Boy, and they will delete CML. But the Aegis is already picked up by Densanity, and he's willing to charge in front and give all the information for the team. Tino has got the link out. There's the RP coming out as well. Chidori, he is hammering away, and Shanks is dead. Tino's going to fall soon, and Densanity takes down Kishka. They'll lose the Razor, and it's down to 2 heroes, of which the other might just lose that Aegis almost right away. Densanity hoping to get a kill on Castaway. Waveform does not quite connect. There's the Spire, placed down. Skewers up in 5 seconds for this Morphling, but the Aegis is gone. That level 17 DK hits like an absolute truck right now. So look at that HP pool, how quickly it disappears on the Morphling. Waveform TP out, the last option, but there's the blink and the sinister gaze. And Chidori continues to have a clean game on this DK.
Yeah, very good showing. I think that decision was really good. They gave up doing rush themselves. They baited Execration to there, and then Execration is like, holy shit, we don't see anyone here, so why don't we do the rush on ourselves? But there is when Mongolz are already smoking towards them, so really good heads up play coming out from Mongolz. Whoever they caught that shot, well done. There were 2 steps ahead. And of course,
And
Dragon
now
at
there's
this point with Empower, scary. Very scary.
Daedalus, Empower, SNY, Mask of Madness. This guy hits hard. Yeah, nice 700 crits on a Razor.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
If they're bold enough, they might just go high ground from here. They know that there's 40 seconds without the Razor, and this is where Execration, they are running a late game lineup, right? So they don't want to defend at all. They want to just scatter around and farm. I think this is where you just go high ground and force Execration to come back home, and then you choke Execration from here.
Yeah, this is truly the moment where they can land a sizable impact onto Execration. So they must be feeling the pressure and the heat.
Okay, so they're not poking on the high ground. It seems like they want kills instead. And maybe they want to do it a little bit slower by just taking the mid tier 2 tower away. I would say at least you want to take 1 tower away here. Because otherwise Execration, they will be so happy because they have no intention of defending at all. And I feel like if Mongolz, if they don't try to go for more, they're giving a lot of room for Execration here, which they don't deserve at all right now.
There's also a moment where this Linken's is going to be up on the Magnus. That Bane is then no longer going to be an issue. Neither the Batrider. It's a very good Linken's game on the Dire side.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They got tabs on CML. Kishka leading the charge. Just getting nightmared, but JG's got the TP cancel. A pretty tanky Bane, if you ask me, when you have that enfeebled debuff on you. I think that should still turn to be the game changer with that damage reduction.
Yeah, if you max it out, it's 70% reduction. It's kind of crazy if you look at the math. 70%.
And then the link that you also mentioned during the draft, that if you combine both of these, it's then sustained damage for Mongolz, but nothing decisive. They've caught themselves a mag. Oh! The RP comes through! Oh! And with a Lich ulti, oh! That's a home run! Oh boy.
Wow, Castaway.
There's the tip.
Really on point. Yes, keep this guy.
It's
Really
a friendly tip for a good play.
I appreciate that. I always appreciate keeping your own teammate for a good place. I wish more happens. I wish more would happen. And this is where DK is gonna go in DD rune.
Almost finding CML, but yeah. Chidori doesn't really have to worry about too much here. Even with the Aegis down. Oh, hits like a damn truck, like you said, that 80 rune with the Mask of Madness. Easy lanes of racks. Mongolz, they can breathe a bit easier now.
Yeah, and also Solar Crest as well. You always want a Solar Crest when you are rocking a DK, because it really gives you the extra juice to this hero. And this is the thing. As long as you able to achieve an image like this, I think that's like the biggest strength of DK. You just take down towers so quickly, and nobody, and thanks to the cleave damage, right, nobody can really come close to the tower to defend it. So
There's been a really good showing from Mongolz again, like with the their idea of countering heroes and making a draft work, just like that. Coming to that clockwork pick all the way to the final stages. I'm talking about the clockwork, classic caster curse right there,
and a very accurate one.
Yeah. you only gotta talk ill words about players, then nothing bad happens. The moment you start giving compliments, this happens. They just die.
Unfortunately.
You wanna compliment the hero so we get another kill?
The players probably won't know that this curse is actually so true. It's a myth. People think it's a myth, but it's not. It's very true. I would say that I feel like Morphling needs to be like the savior for Execration. But it's
In
not
a way,
easy
yeah.
for him. But it's not easy for him. We have seen that, you know, this instant cast coming out from RP, coming out from Leech, in this case, it has really been showing off that, okay, we have good enough tools to shut down the Morphling, so it's really, really hard for Nance to solo carry this himself. I feel like Tino, it's about time for him to step up.
Well, I guess we were expecting that to happen, but that does give away their ward position. However, it's a lot of gold for the Lich. I mean, with all the... When you're saying, basically, that the Morphling has quite heavy weights on his shoulders, all this early farm we got on Lewis, I have to say the Shaker has been feeling like a bit of an invisible hero for a while.
That is very true, yeah. Like, we haven't seen much of Shaker so far yet, even. It feels like Execration has never been able to really just play out the fights that they want to. It's always dictated or reacted to what Mongolz are doing. I feel like Mongolz has been in the driver's seat for the longest time right now, and really shout out to them. They really come into play, and you can see the intentions behind the play as well. They're always with each other, they're always pushing this tower with the intention of going to enemy jungle, into controlling Roche. And they're always playing with each other as well. You never really see any initiation go on, and there's no instant backup to it. There's always a follow-up to it.
Also, we've only seen one Fiend script all game long. It was onto the DK. Not really into a very good result. They spotted the Razor. Tino. Nowhere to go. This Lich is destroying lives right now.
You don't even get to press your BKB. The change stance is more than enough with the damage too. GG on the hunt again. Very quick moves.
There goes Shanks.
Oh!
Yeah, that's
gone.
DK. Bat doesn't exactly have a high amount of armor.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Straight up fish food.
Dire's
Lewis
top
is spotted
tower
as well by
is
Kishka. One death after the other. Lewis has to BKB out.
Yeah, this is exactly the time for you to go high ground, I believe. Or at least to threaten some towers. You are 3 vs 5. Shaker has no BKB. So, Chidori, he's
There's
still a
the
little bit
chicken head.
afraid to hit the tier 2 though.
Waiting for the creep wave to arrive. Make sure that no mistakes are made.
Radiant's middle tower has
8,
That's
0 and 7 so
NKB
far.
also coming up, so he'll have a very sizable amount of attack speed on this DK. Like you said, buffed up with the Empower. The best of both worlds.
And of course, it's against the butterfly coming out from Morphling as well. So, Morphling has no timing against Dragon Knight at the moment. Once the MKB is done. I like this Lincoln pickup as well. As you said, it's a very good item against what Execration has. But I also believe that Lincoln is like a crucial item for you to go high ground as well. Because you are gonna prevent your DK from getting Lassor, from getting Amphibious, which is very, very annoying. And it seems that they want to take the safe approach. They want to wait for Roche first.
See who they run into first as well. JG. It's a big tower of winter hats that he has on top of his head.
Dire are scanning.
Still not quite noticeable. In the fog of war, Chidori. That was a fifth of Morphling's HP gone in one right click. JG trying to force out Tino at least his BKB. Chidori bringing in some mean hits onto the Razor. And you gotta watch out that splash damage. It's real. Then Sanity has to get away from the DK. They're trying to wearing them down, but CML is gone, and so do two others, Shanks, Tino, and now Lewis as well. Oh, they make it look so easy at this point of the game.
Yeah. He's starting to get into unfair territory right now. Like, DK just stands the ground, right click, everyone dies.
Oh, this is so rough. For Execration, who started the series so well. You have to give it to Mongolz. The adjustment has paid off.
Yeah, the mental strength as well. Really looks solid because game 1 was so brutal that I feel like it's very difficult for a lot of teams to recover from. But Mongolz, they did it in a super strong fashion as well.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's
I
bottom
love their
tower
strategy as well. I feel like they really came into this race having some heroes in mind and knowing how to enable those heroes.
has fallen. Radiant's
Yeah, I mean, it's
middle
pretty
tower
much, we swapped our little brothers from game number 1, and it was like, alright, it's time to take over. But Execration in the lower bracket from the first round, it would be hard to say before the series started that would be a reality, but they're gonna have to face it by the looks of it, because Mongolz, they ain't stopping.
Yeah, it's still not over yet, but definitely look like getting super rough for Execration to find a way to come back to this game. I feel like that's what, when you are running double carry, right? You really need the game to not get into this kind of situation where your supports need to be thinking about helping two cores at once. Because I feel like Razor haven't really been able to provide too much to the team. But on the other side, he needs a lot of support from the team to really be of value in this game, which is like a very hard situation always. Because all of a sudden, your supports are not looking at the Morphling is not getting help in the team fight, and suddenly you feel like you feel like your teammates are your enemies
are
sometimes,
scanning.
because they have turned into a liability, and I do feel like Tino, unfortunately, in this game.
Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
They only need a little bit more.
Radiant's middle tower is
Got
under
this
attack.
game in the bag on the side of Mongolz. Level 23 DK leading the charge. Lincoln's buffed as well. That Lincoln's will pop.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Now a Lotus Orb on top of it too. There's the lasso. Trying to get through his first life, but it's proving very problematic. He's lost almost all of his damage, but as I say, almost all of his damage. He's still chewing through this Razor, but they do get a backline hit by Lewis. Maybe with that Echo Slam, they can turn things around. The Aegis is down. The RP comes out from JG. And they want to make sure that this Bane dies without that ulti going off. And he does. He's going to have to buy back and return. Still, no one is dying on the side of the Mongolz. JG's looking for another play. Goes in for the blink and doesn't quite catch anybody with the skewer.
Successful
Right,
defense for
another
now.
attempt in a couple seconds.
Do they want to
Still
turn around?
sticking around. GG in the front. Don't have their DK form for another 20 seconds, so that is probably the more problematic side, that they cannot really push. I think that they could just catch one hero. Using the Morphling's illusion to do the dewarding for them. Out of the vision for now. Everybody still back up on the side of Execration. Still no feed script for a while. Maybe now. Lasso comes through. And oh, it went to the Lotus Orb! CML's ulti is instantly taken away. And Mongolz are running them down. Tino dies. Bane dies. And one simple cast of a Lotus Orb keeps Chidori and his team protected. Well, was a quick banal.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, we were talking about how effective the Bing could be in this game. Unfortunately, none of the Bing has proven to be very effective so far. Iskra going in.
Evils. Iskra protecting the front. DK's finishing the game here, basically just hammering down that ancient. JG finds an illusion. Not the real hero, but it's still 3 versus 5. Maybe the clockwork dies. Maybe the clockwork dies. There we go. With the fissure, it's going to be enough. Wonder Boy forced away, but the ancient is down, and the Mongolz, they will march to the semi-final round here in the SEA qualifier, despite losing game number 1. So, well done, boys.